up? This is Jarrell with Quantum Light Consciousness. Today we're going to talk about unblocking yourself from your own soul. In my last video, I kind of talked about how a lot of people kind of just get distracted with their own lives, going day to day, and I was just speaking about how if people would just focus on their soul, like the world could be a different place, but mostly to the effect that there is a world where people do focus on themselves and they do understand what's going on around them, and they understand what goes on around them is kind of like a reflection of what has been going on in their subconscious emotional fields and energy patterns and subconscious mind space. As a collective, a lot of people are intertwined with their environment and they're not fully conscious of them co-creating the entire environment, whether it be an entire financial system, an entire community that is based off of pragmatism and dogma, just layered in the subconscious, and they're not really coherent enough that they're still following those values. You get into the point where you have to go into your own soul and you have to realize what's true for you and stay dear to that and stay sincere to that, to yourself, because only you know your own truth, and that's what this blog is about. So it's really just 5 pointers on how you can begin unblocking yourself from your own soul. So here we go. Number 1 is understanding that you're not your mind. Again, I know I say that a lot. You're your inner voice as a vibration, as a pure vibration. Any types of frequencies, thought patterns going through your mind, that's not you. Even if it's kind of like chattery or whatever it may be, it could be negative, it could be positive. It's not you. You may be utilizing those thoughts and acting on those thoughts, and you might even identify with some of those thoughts, but those thoughts aren't you, only because it's really just an energy that flows through your brain. Your brain is kind of just like a signal emitter. It's like a radio transmitter, an electromagnetic radio transmitter, transceiver, audio, and when you get into it, it's video as well. So you really have to know that you're not any types of frequencies that go through your mind. And unfortunately, there is kind of like a negative net that is utilized on the planet. So its basis is to keep you from going in and clearing your mind and getting to that point of stillness. So when you do go into your inner realms, you're able to see clear and think clear. That's also something I covered in the last video. You'll actually get negative opposition where you'll get frequencies saying, it's not worth it, stop, go do something else, what's the point, you can't do it, and it will literally give you the chemical negative induction to open your eyes and literally pick up your phone or pick up the remote and flip the channels on the TV. Like, it will literally induce that reaction within you to get you to do anything else except focus on your own self and connecting with your own soul, which is totally ridiculous. It's kind of like the patterns of distraction. It's just like do anything except focus on yourself and realize how powerful you truly are from your mind and your emotions and your energetic capacity. So once you're able to understand that it's possible to control your mind, once you get into your heart space You know, you kind of have to like take your awareness out of your mind and drop it down into your heart. And once you're there, you begin to listen, and you begin to feel. You begin to feel a lot deeper, and you begin to really understand that it's conscious awareness. That's all you are. And what's recommended to do this is one of my meditations. I have it on the website. I basically kind of did a rendition off of June Val Melchizedek's original meditation. You can do either. It really helps. But at least 10 minutes a day, you want to sit down and do meditation and just feel a state of unconditional love within yourself, because that's the core level. That's the core template level of what your being is made up out of. It's just love. It's just an unconditional state of being. Just emanate love and do mantras. Some of the mantras I like to do is compassion, unity, peace, oneness, harmony, reverence, light, and just repeat those. It's kind of like a key. It like unlocks the inner realms within inside yourself, and then you can start to begin operating from here, from your own center, from your own soul, and you can really start progressing on your spiritual path. Number 2 is to understand that you're more than one individual being. All right. It's kind of crazy to say this, but this blog is unconventional, So you have a soul space. That soul space is basically infinite. When you go inside, it expands infinite, because every soul is from the same soul family. We're all made of the same, we're all made of the same energy. We all share the same experiences. You could say you've had a past life of anybody, just because we've all been kind of like tangled in a web of reincarnation, life to death, in a cyclical web that has kind of been controlled by, negative forces, negative extraterrestrials. However, it's been overseen by, cosmic family and overruling galactic federations of light. So it's kind of like a learning experience in a collegiate, school experiment for souls. So once you understand that, like, you can see yourself in other people, and then if you know that you're also other people, that it's pretty relevant to understand that you've been more than one person in your life, in your physical third dimensional life. You've been a kid, you've been an adolescent, and you've been an adult, and you have those three. Just to start with, your inner child is actually alive and well. It's still within you, whether unfortunately it may have been traumatized, or they may still be happy. They may still have a relevance in your life today. So knowing that and connecting with those aspects of yourself are key to knowing that you have capacity to connect with yourself, and you have influence to connect to yourself. You also have your higher self, your fifth dimensional self, which is like the same thing, except you've always existed except outside the realm, and you've kind of just like incarnated onto Earth to basically fix and realign and course correct the timeline that's been going on here. And your fifth dimensional self will pop in and out depending on your level of frequency and awareness of where you're at day to day. And there's videos on that, how to connect and how to raise your frequency to allow your fifth dimensional self to inhabit your actual physical body. And then you have your Angelic Guardians. These can be any guardians that could be with you that you have called upon, or if you have like a merge going with like an angelic or an archangelic or a higher angelic who's also a higher self. They'll be in your inner space, and they'll also be able to chime in and give you guidance and give you reflections when you actually tap into that space and you listen with, your own vibration. You know your own vibration, and then you're able to silence or just, calm your own vibration, or just not be caught up in the chatter of what's going on outside or what's going on through your mind, and discerning yourself between the space within and the space that is going on around you within yourself. And that's when you hear and get that actual guidance from your guides and your higher angelic selves. And then there's your cosmic self, which is a totally different ball game, which is like, it's huge. Like, the way I can describe my cosmic self is like you being like a huge, like gigantic, gargantuan being of a cosmic stature that in itself is conglomerated and made up of billions of galaxies, and even larger than that, like outside what is known of the known universe. And you basically, you like sit like above everything, and you see everything like you're looking down into it's kind of like you're looking down into a fishbowl. Like, I've woken up as like my cosmic self, and then I'm like basically like going through galaxies, all the way down to the Milky Way galaxy, all the way down to Earth, all the way down to my house, all the way down to my room. Now looking at my room like vertical, like it's like kind of like a two-dimensional video game, and I see and I can see myself just lying down on my bed. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, it's a being that large, like it's a being like almost unimaginably large, and that's part of you too. Like, that's like close to like source. Like, when you're closest, higher self's the source. You can call it your highest self, we call it your cosmic self. The closest self you can perceive, closest to actual source consciousness. And understand that you're all these beings in one. You're all on the stream of your oversoul, which is the conglomeration of every soul that you've ever taken part of, either in this life or in the next life or in any past life. And this basically understanding that you have access to that anytime you want. Like, you don't have to come home from work and sit on the couch and watch TV, or kind of just obsess about your day, or kind of stress out over stuff that will be handled, whether you realize you're going to handle it or not, just because it's like routine. And instead of worrying about that stuff, you kind of just understand that things are going along, and you have the free will to acknowledge your own omnipresence, your own eternalness within your own being. And you sit down and connect, and you begin to get clear with inside yourself. And these phenomena begin to happen more and more. Sometimes you'll hear, sometimes you feel a presence, sometimes you actually hear a presence as a vibration. Like, you'll feel the vibration, and then you'll hear a voice at the same time. It could be your inner child, it could be your higher self, it could be an angelic guardian. The way you know it's true, like the way you know it's actually relevant and like rationally like a phenomena to pay attention to, is if it strikes you as something within your own reality if it makes sense in context. If you get like a communication from your higher self, they usually don't waste words. If you get communication from your inner child, it's usually something that you have to pay attention to, that you may be neglecting yourself, like you might be inadvertently like hurting yourself or pulling negative energy into your body. Or angelic selves is also totally different. They kind of speak another language. They speak angelic tongue, and it's like it's called like light language, star language. It kind of sounds like it's like a really like, I don't want to say guttural. It's like it's hard to explain, but it vibrates your soul, and it's like a really extreme, intense form of language. It kind of sounds like a Latin Spanish. It's awesome actually. But yeah, so just know that you are these beings, and you can contact them anytime you want. So number 3 is remembering your home vibrational lineage. This is important just because a lot of the history has been forgotten on the planet, and most people don't realize, I hate saying most people, but it's like a lot, they don't understand that like the most basic knowledge has been convoluted and misunderstood. They don't teach geology fields in school. The most common language of like symbology and math is, would be the precession of equinox. If we can get that on point, then people would understand that all of the ancient structures are based off of the Great Galactic Year, which is based off the galactic, the cycles of the Golden Age, and the ages of light and dark. So when you watch documentaries on ancient histories of megaliths and structures, you get the actual history that they're built off of a higher vibration, and that higher vibration is actually from a higher level of understanding and civilizations that people were living out of and through. And those megaliths that they built off of, they're built off of the stars and the ancient knowledge, and that knowledge is the same knowledge that your higher self is linked into and from. So if you were able to take note of which races came from which stars from the history of those civilizations, you'd be able to actually remember more of your actual soul lineage. And the way to confirm that is to just connect with your higher self and confirm, yes or no with the answers that you research. So number 4 is cultivating a feeling of being at home within yourself. This is something that I had been working on when I first started getting into personal development. It's one of the first things that I did learn. It's a feeling that, no matter where you go in the world, first within yourself, that's where you feel the most at home. Doesn't matter what's going on around you, doesn't matter who you're around, doesn't matter what they're doing, because you're always you, no matter where you go, there you are. That's also a key saying, and it's true. Who you are is who you are preeminently. You're always within your own self to begin with, and when you start tapping into that inner space, that sense of home, that sense of well-being will only expand. So it's important to feel safe to draw upon and act upon, your actualized emotions, without judging yourself or being afraid what others might think or say, when you start being more of yourself, because what anybody else says is just an illusion, that they're projecting. So the most important is not to judge yourself, because you are your own director of your own life. And you kind of see, how beings have been on the planet for ages and ages and ages, thousands and thousands of years. Knowledge gets uncovered, then it gets recovered again, and it's just like the cycle. And it's like on the Earth, the planet, it's a home for everybody, and it's like everything has happened here. And when you understand that, when you can see other individuals going through the same lessons and experiences and circumstantial revelations that you have gone through, you're kind of available to hold a space of detached compassion for anybody who may judge you based off of how you choose to live your life from within yourself. And this leads you to not feeling like an outsider and, feeling like an insider. Because when you're in this realm, you realize that all these beings who have been reincarnating within themselves in like this, cycle, from thousands to thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, and you become conscious of that, you are now creating your own experience from within you to see how you decided to play out based on this new context of perception of this paradigm that you're now conscious and aware of. And that's where it gets exciting, because you realize that throughout this entire experience, all these souls learning this rehab school of college, it's like a soul experience of emotional learning in a class of just like soul's experience. And you are able to understand like one life on the planet is like it's like a clip of a movie that's infinitely long in both directions. And you are the director, so you can decide what types of energies you would allow in to your experience, what types of emotions from anyone or from yourself you would allow to cultivate and project or reflect, or you can choose to go in a completely different direction. But you always know that you are the captain, and you're always directing and guiding your own experience. You're always course correcting. And that's important to know, that it's a choice to remain positively balanced from an emotional state of optimism. And that's key to just getting along and being like that good vibe within yourself, as like you as an eternal omnipresent being. And then number 5 is to understand that you're preeminently a being of energy, through and through, because the atoms that make up your body are toroidal fields. And if you understand a toroidal field, that is a self-fulfilling, self-replenishing system, closed system. And atoms are unified. Atoms spin through each other, just like toroidal fields. And that's actually the unified field, is toroidal fields linked throughout each other, inside out. Just understanding that the energy that you hold is also relevant to the emotional frequency that you hold. And being resident in your own frequency is important with your visualization and with your core resonance that you carry day to day. So a good fundamental benchmark to view your energy field as is a pillar of light, a pillar of white golden light, infinitely vertical, with a sphere within it, also white gold. crystalline light, and understand that they're both toroidal fields and they both flow inside out. And really, to know that within that you have yourself, you have your energy body, which is golden. It's just light. It's really light, and that's it. And if you want the feeling of your body going into pure energy, it's like a golden, silky, vibrational sensation where you just feel that paradigm of, like, it's not emotion, it's just like pure clarity and ease of physical synchronization of your body processes, linking through itself and working seamlessly as a unified function, as the body's supposed to work. So you can do clearings, you can do meditations, and when you visualize yourself in your heart space, just make sure you're using white gold light and you're feeling that that vibration of love, as an unconditional state of being, because that's truly how you grow, is just 10 minutes a day, just feeling that and emanating that and circulating that with that visual. So I hope you guys like this video. If you feel free to like, share, and subscribe it, then do that. I'm also available for sessions at quantumlight.net. That's quantum-light.net. I do healings, I do intuitive coaching. I also have a course coming up, and I have a course available out on the website. So thanks so much. One love. Peace.